In the previous presentation, we saw how to insert data at the beginning of the linked list. Now in this presentation, we will see what is the possible mistake a person can make while inserting the data at the beginning of the linked list. So let's get started. We've already seen this main function in our previous presentation, and we know that this block of code is helping us to create a linked list which consists of two nodes, as you can see over here. And this is the head pointer which is pointing to the first node of the list, and PTR is the pointer which is pointing to the second node of the list. Now I want you to focus on this line of code, that is head equal to add beg head comma data. Here we are passing these two parameters head and data to this function add beg. I want you to focus on this line of code. Here this head and data are passed by value, but what mistake we can make over here is that we may think of this head as passed by reference. Now this is important for us to understand that this is not passed by reference but passed by value. Why is this mistake possible? Because this is the pointer. As we are passing the address of something, we may think of this that we are passing the address of head, which is not true. We are passing the address of the first node of the list and not the address of the head. Passing the head means we are passing the contents of head, which is 1000. Here we know that whenever we pass a variable, we know that we are passing the content of that variable. Here you can see we are passing data, which means that we are passing the value contained in that data. We know the value is 3. Here, because we are passing head is similar to any other variable. Passing the head means you are passing the content of head, which is 1000. So this is not the case that we are passing the address of head. We are passing the address of the first node of the list. Due to this, we may think of this that there is no need to return the head pointer from add beg function, and that is why we may remove this head equal to from this line of code. And the updated line of code may look like this, add beg head comma data. Because there is no need to return head, so we may think that the changes will get reflected in the main function and there is no need to return the head. But this is wrong. This is passed by value. You are passing the copy of the content of this head. Although whatever the changes you make in the linked list in the add beg function will get reflected in the main function because you are passing the address of the first node of the list. So whatever the changes you make in the list will get updated in the main function. But let me tell you that the head pointer will still point to this particular node in this main function. That is the problem. We know that we are adding the data at the beginning of the list. That means we are adding the node at the beginning of the list. So the head must be updated in the add beg function. But that updated head will not get reflected in the main function because we may think of this as passed by reference. And this is the possible mistake we can make. Let's see the add beg function. Here you can see because of the possible mistake, you may replace this struct node star by void and may completely remove this return head. So the updated code may look like this. The problem here is that we have to return the head because head is local to this function. Let me tell you, this head, this pointer is local to this function. We pass the address 1000 from the main function to this add beg function, which is received by this head, which is local to this function. So this head receives this 1000 address, which means that now it is also pointing to this linked list. You will definitely make changes to this linked list and this will get reflected in the main function, but head will still point to this node in the main function. Let's see why. We know that this block of code will create a node for us where the PTR is pointing to this node. And of course, with the help of this line of code, we would be able to update the link part of this node. And after that, the head will get updated by this new address 3000. But let me tell you, this head is local to this function. This change will not get reflected in the main function because this is passed by value and not passed by reference. You're not passing the address of head. You're passing the content of head from the main function to the add beg function. The head pointer is updated in the add beg function and will not get reflected in the main function. This is the updated list we have at the end. This is the head pointer which is pointing to this node, and this head is local to this function. We should always remember that this head is local to the function. Now let's see our main function. We know that here the head is not updated because we haven't returned the head from the add beg function. This head is still pointing to this node. And this is the problem. Although the linked list is updated, but the head is still pointing to this node. Head is not updated in the main function, and this is the problem. After this, of course, this PTR will get updated by this address 1000. That is the address which is contained within this head. But this is wrong. After this, the traversal start, and we know that the traversal starts from this particular node itself. And due to this reason, 45 and 98 will get printed on the screen. But this is wrong. We know that we have added this node at the beginning of the list. But the problem is head is still pointing to this node, and due to this reason, we won't be able to print the contents of this node. Does that mean I always have to return a pointer from a function in order to reflect the changes? No, let me tell you, this is not true. We can still make the changes without returning the head pointer. Now, how is that possible? We will see that in the next presentation.